Well, good afternoon. We're out here in Missouri. This is going to actually be our first stand here in Missouri that we're setting up this year. We got the Millennium M25. I got the stick ladder there, and then another key component that we use on all of our hanging or stands is the hunter safety system hanger harness there. I'll have a couple other videos on that this year, but you know, safety is our number one thing when it comes to hanging tree stands, because it can get dangerous in a hurry. You know, everybody's had that fall or you know, almost fell out of a tree stand, and if you haven't, you know, it's probably going to happen to you. So, you know, as much as you can get prepared for it, the better off you're going to be. But to get back to this, this right here is probably about 1/4 of an acre that I've took the Swisher brush hog through, mowed it down there, and then went back in through with the Workhorse Sprayer UTV model there, and went ahead and sprayed, killed out a whole lot of this grass. I don't till up any of my properties. A couple of our pro staff guys are all about tilling. You know, it's just kind of however you guys want to do it. But you can get away planting that Frigid Forage, Big and Beastie, Wild Game Buffet. Any of those food plots work really well. Just by exactly what I was just saying there. You know, brush hog it, or take your mower or weed, or however you guys can get in there and do it, and then just kill off that vegetation. And you know, a week later after you mowed it, and you should be ready to go. As long as you got a good seed to soil contact. That first rainfall in August is typically where we like to seed our food plots. We've got one coming up here, or we've got some rain in the forecast here in the next 7-10 days, so we're actually going to go ahead and plant this. This may be the piece that I start off our 2018 season with here in Missouri. So looking forward to it. We've got some decent deer moving through state of Missouri, so we've been running trail cameras, putting out the analogic mineral dirt. We're starting to phase that out and start really isolating into the analogic protein blocks. You know, about this time of year, we're into the September period, a lot of your vegetation will start dying off, and you know, those deer have had a lot of forage to eat there, you know, throughout the summer. But you know, they're going to start lacking some of that protein, and those protein blocks, you know, depending on what state you're in, September 15th is our opener here in Missouri, so we generally have got all of our protein blocks out just because of the regulations here in the state of Missouri by the 1st of September. So we're sitting here right at the beginning of August, so you know, whatever it's not cleaned up, right there about that September 1st mark, I'm going to go ahead and pull the rest of it out, and then just try to clean it up as much as I can there. But this is a great setup here. We've got a big wood lot right behind us, and then this food plot right here is going to be a staging area, and another 70-80 yards further to the east of us, we've got a 30-40 acre bean field. So I'm probably just going to be hunting this in the evening times, but we have had some mature deer moving through here during the mornings. But when I'm hunting those staging plots, I typically like to hunt those in the evenings. But you know, what that staging plot does for you is it's let your deer get out there into those big wood lots or the grass fields or bedding, you know, wherever they're bedding at. You know, they've established that throughout the summer. You know, then the transition into the food. Typically, your big mature bucks, they'll hit those staging plots before they go out to the agriculture fields. You know, if they got a pretty good amount of food there. But we are planting the Big and Beastie food plot right through here. It's worked out really well. You know, I haven't ever done any kind of soil samples, but I've never had any issue. You know, I typically try to hunt near agriculture fields, so if, you know, if their soil is pretty good, I imagine, you know, where I've established the food plots should be okay as well. But I'm gonna walk you guys through kind of our setup there. The reason why I selected tree, you know, trail camera positions, the food plot, the spreader that I'm rolling with, you know, and also clearing out shooting lanes. You know, there's always a big question of, you know, should we take out that branch or we should take out that branch? You know, I'm a big advocate of making sure, you know, those deer can't see your silhouette up in the tree as well. So try to get those angles in this video as well. So I'll get on with the work there and take you guys with us. Well, we just set up our Analogic protein block there. As you guys can see right there, we've got a trail camera. We've got that running on the video and the photo mode there. But that product right there, that is a what they call stick and pick, and it gives a lot of variation to be able to establish a pretty good zoning of any kind of food plot or mineral site or even trails. We use these things throughout all 4 of the states. They typically work out really well for us. It just gives us a lot of functionality. They've got those that you can screw into the trees. They got them that you can with the straps. That you can use if you're using or you're hunting on public land, as well as stakes. If you sitting on a bean field or a cornfield, maybe don't have a tree right there or some sort of tall bedding area, those things tend to work out pretty well there. So that's what I've got there for our mineral site. As I've said before, we're starting to transition away from the mineral. We still run mineral year round, but we're starting to really put more protein blocks out for our deer. Not only for our bucks, but for the fawns and does. Because those winter months, those are not easy on any animal. But particularly, I want to make sure our deer are taken care of, for future generations there. So we'll move on to the next stage here. All right. Well, we've established the tree that we're gonna pick for this stand. It's the one right here behind us. The reason why that we've chosen this stand is it gives us about a 20 to 30 yard shot directly north of where our trail cameras are telling us those deer are moving in and out of, and then we will be able to see all of our food plot area to the southwest here. Another thing that's really going to help us is the view. Tree stand is going to be facing the big wood lot there, and that way we can really start seeing deer a lot sooner as if it was facing away. We know where those deer are going to be coming from, out here to the feeding fields, or vice versa, going backwards from the feeding fields to the bedding area. But I rely a lot on my trail cameras. And things can change. Like I said, we're sitting here in August, but I want to make sure I got this site established, left alone. That way I can just keep running these trail cameras, midday. I know there's some decent deer in here to hunt, so we'll go ahead and get the hanger harness on, set the tree stand, and probably when I've got the thing set up, I'll jump up there in the stand and show you guys the view and see what you guys think of it. Well, we got the ladder set up there. Our next stage, we've got our hanger harness attached to the tree, along with our lifeline there for the top of it. One of the main things I do before we get going with this is make sure that I've got all the limbs I'm going to need up above. That way I don't ever have to unhook myself from either one of these. And then also this hanger harness has got such big pockets there. I mean, you're allowed to keep a whole bunch of stuff in there. A saw. Most of the time I just take one trip up the tree, and that being sawing, hanging the tree stand. Make sure I got my rope there, got the lifeline, getting my bow hanger there, whether it's a screw-in or a strap. Whether I'm hunting private or public land, but this particular piece, it's private, so I've got I'll be using the screw-in steps there, or the screw-in bow hanger. So we'll get on up in the tree here. I believe this is like 20-25 foot ladder. We use a lot of these throughout the 4 states. I either use these or the the quick steps. The ones that they still have the ratchet straps around the side. Especially if I'm going to do a couple day bow hunt and on public ground or private ground, either one of them. Those typically work out pretty good for transportation wise. So we'll get up on the tree there and see if we can't get you guys a little better view from there. Well, we got the M25 from Millennium hung up here. Show you guys the view directly below us. Hanger harness worked out really well. It gives you a hands-free. That way you guys can move that tree stand and hang it the way you want it without having to grab onto the tree on one side and hang on on the other too. So but you guys can see we've got some pretty good views right here for shots, and then we've got the bean field directly behind us, and then you see the Ranger there. It's roughly about 25 yards, but this big and beastie food plot from Frigid Forge, it'll get out there about another 80 yards. And this is just a phenomenal setup for staging plots. Getting those big mature deer coming off that woodlot there into the big and beastie in the evenings, and then as they progress out there into the bean fields later on. So we'll move on to the next step. We've got a screw-in bow hanger we're going to put up there, and then we're going to get on with the food plot, and then we're going to get out of here, and hopefully our big mature deer, or and our does and our fawns, come back here in the evening. So we'll see you guys next step. Well, we're about to move on to our food plot there. This is what we're planting. The big and beastie from Frigid Forge contains sugar beets, turnips, dakin radishes, and 3 varieties of forage rape. Plant late fall or early spring. This particular food plot, this is going to be a fall food plot. Show you guys what that seed looks like there. It's got the variety that's on the bag there. It typically works out really good. Just to reiterate what we did here on this particular food plot is we just went over it with the Swisher rough cut mower, and then came back through with the Workhorse sprayer UTV model there, and then we're going to broadcast this. We got some rain in the forecast, and we look forward to seeing what the growth is there. You guys can see right up there in that corner, that's our tree stand that I was just up in showing you guys. So we'll get on with the food plots here, get out of here, and hopefully our deer are in here this evening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the first segment of KOAM Outdoors 2018 and 19 prep there. So we've got several other videos, got a couple of pro staff guys that are going to be joining in with some of these videos as well. So hope everybody enjoyed the video, and look forward to the next ones.